We'll be talking about the latest crypto news and what's moving the crypto markets with our next guest, Hong Feng, president of OKX, one of the world's largest exchanges, ranked third or fourth, depending on the day, by trading volume. Welcome back to the show, Hong. Always good to see you.
Always good to be on. Thank you for having me, David.
Thank you for being here. I was just talking to you offline about which is being traded the most on OKX right now, using OKX as one of the largest exchanges in the world as a gauge for activity. And to no one's surprise, it's ETH. ETH to USDT actually is number one, and then Bitcoin to USDT number third. Number three is Pepe Coin, and then fourth is ETH to BTC, and then fifth is Solana. So this is let's talk about this first. ETH is in the news right now. It's skyrocketed over the past 48 hours on the speculation that there will be a new Ethereum ETF. The SEC has not rejected the application, and so that was one of the reasons why the chances people have assigned chances of this happening. The chances have gone up. What is your read into this situation? Are we getting an ETH ETF soon, do you think?
I don't know, David. I really don't know. If you asked me a few days ago, I would say no. I don't think we will be getting it anytime soon. I just don't feel like that. Uh, the environment and how we've seen the behavior playing out kind of point to a yes answer. But obviously, we all know that there's something happening over the last 2 days. But it's really a matter of political speculation at this point. And I don't think I'm good at political speculation, even worse than price speculation.
Well,
So,
let's put it
but
this way. I mean, have you, talking to your partners, clients, associates, have you gotten the feeling that there is a demand for ETF products in general for the crypto space following the launch of the Bitcoin ETFs earlier this year?
demand is definitely out there, right? Particularly as we see with Bitcoin ETF, I think the demand is definitely out there. There are two parts of demand. One part is the demand for ETF itself. There are institutional demand. There's also retail demand in different ways. And then the second part is the demand for reputation, for validation of some sort. And I think the second part is actually playing a more uncertain but longer term impact and positive impact in the industry. So I think that need for a ETF for Ethereum is kind of out there. People all want it, but the general sentiment in the market is that it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But obviously, we see that sentiment turn around. But is that something real that's happening, or is just a speculation? It's hard to tell. I tend to feel like it's probably more on the speculation side, but again, I'm not a political commenter, so I think it's hard to tell.
Let's just assume, for the sake of conversation, that this will pass and that perhaps down the line there will be more ETFs for cryptos. So ETF products for cryptos being part of the norm. What are the
Mm.
wider implications for the crypto market now that we have ETFs on the market?
Well, I think first of all, there is easier access to these crypto assets, obviously, for institutions as well as retails. A lot of the institutions, because of their regional investment mandate, they cannot really invest in anything outside a traditional financial instrument, and ETF gives them that ability. Right. Retails too, for retailers who you don't really know about crypto and they don't feel comfortable. They quote unquote almost rely on the traditional financial sector and the regulators to kind of screen through them and provide them with that. And plus, there's also tax benefit whereby you can actually invest in these ETF in a tax efficient account, a retirement account. Versus in straight crypto, you probably won't be able to do that at this point. There's not much clarity around that. So there's definitely benefit for customers who either are sitting on the sideline or don't know. It provides access and it provides educational window. I think for incumbent, quote unquote, incumbent players in crypto, native crypto space, for us, we view it as both a competition as well as a good positive factor right? Competition being that it definitely will attract some flow away, but I don't think that in itself is a major factor because it really meet the new demand that otherwise we would not be able to meet in the industry. And I think it creates more marketing opportunities, more educational opportunities, and that I think that educational opportunity, the opportunity for people to look at this and say why, and having an interest in looking into it is more important than otherwise. So I think all in all, it's good. Yeah.
What is the profile of the type of investor who would be interested in purchasing or investing in an ETF versus just a spot?
I think it can be anyone, even crypto natives. They may also want to have some ETF, right? Because like for you and me, for example, yeah, I would probably do more straight buy and sell. And move those into hard wallet. But at the same time, if I'm thinking about buying in the traditional market, in addition to looking at MicroStrategy or Coinbase stock, now I have another option, which is Bitcoin ETF. So if I really want to double down in crypto investment, that's one way for me to double down. So I think it really can cater to a wide range of customers, investors in the market.
Does OKX offer Bitcoin ETFs?
No.
No. Is that something that you would consider adding?
Not at this point. I think we have other priorities. We have been investing in our own internal infrastructure, in getting into new markets, in getting licenses, and also investing in our Web3 wallet, in self custody wallet. I think that's where our strengths, historical strength is, and that's where we want to continue to build our strength. At some point in certain market, we may consider the possibility you were talking about, but that's not where I think our primary advantage would be.
Okay, I do want to come back to talk about OKX and your expansion plans, because a lot of new jurisdictions have been entered. Let's go back to the markets for just a bit more. So one interesting trend is the rise of Bitcoin dominance. This has been happening all throughout 2023 and into this year. We saw that in late 2022, Bitcoin accounted for 40% of the total market cap of cryptos. Now it is at 54%. It's been just a steady uptrend. Why is it that
Mm.
you think Bitcoin has been outgrowing the growth of most of the other, I would say, cryptos, except for maybe the larger ones and except for maybe the smaller speculative meme coins like Pepe that's very much alive on your exchange, for example?
Yeah, I think it's really about the fundamentals. I think the Bitcoin ETF is actually doing its job in getting more people to look at Bitcoin and actually pay attention. I think that value proposition of Bitcoin as a sort of value is actually playing out. So I think previously we talked about off before coming on about the article that I wrote
Hmm.
2 or 3 years ago,
Yes, yeah, I remember that article. Yeah.
whereby I predict a 100,000 price point that we haven't got to yet. But I think the points that I was making in those articles are still valid. I think if I take a step back and look at use cases of crypto that have been somewhat were mostly validated, right, so far. I think there are very two clear use cases. One is store of value for Bitcoin. I think that is very clear. That is being recognized not only by individuals, but also by institutions, by wealth managers, by big corporations, more and more by countries. The second use case is stablecoin as payment alternative to traditional payment network like Visa and MasterCard. Just in last year, the transaction happening on stablecoin is comparable to Visa and MasterCard,
Mm.
respectively. So I think those two are use cases that have playing out and be testified, been tested throughout cycles, bear market or bull market. My point of view, my personal point of view is that I think the Bitcoin cycle is still playing out for this cycle, and it hasn't fully played out yet. That bull market for Bitcoin cycle hasn't fully played out yet this cycle. Yeah.
Actually, yes, $100,000 hasn't been reached yet, but your 100K prediction is looking a little conservative right now compared to other people's predictions. Okay, Standard
Yeah.
Chartered
Right.
raises its year-end BTC forecast to 150K, sees 250K by 2025. This is a big bank, by the way, issuing this forecast. So their rationale, and I'd like to get your thoughts on this because I think you talked about this before on your previous article. They said we think the gold analogy in terms of both in terms of both ETF impact and the optimal portfolio mix remains a good starting point for estimating the correct BTC price level medium term. They said if ETF inflows reach our midpoint estimate of $75 billion, and if our reserve managers buy BTC, we see a good chance of an overshoot to the $250,000 level at some stage in 2025. Basically, they're comparing inflows into Bitcoin ETFs versus inflows into gold ETFs when they were first launched many years back.
Mm.
Does this analogy make sense to you?
I think so. Yeah. I think when I was looking at Bitcoin price almost 3 years ago, I was looking at one. I took a few different approaches, but one of the case was looking at gold price. I also looked at wealth allocation among high net worth individuals globally, and what happens if they make 5 to 10% allocation, right? Those cases, I think, are being playing out, particularly after Bitcoin ETF. I think people are more and more feeling comfortable with that. Either they do it directly or they do it through a Bitcoin ETF, whereby they feel more comfortable because it's a more traditional type of vehicle. The underlying asset is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that is playing out. And remember, when I put 100,000 price point out there, it's just one point that I pick out of a price range that I came up with, and I think that price range would still be there, and I think we can see it play out over time. Yeah.
We're seeing news coming out of China that there's a huge demand for gold from Chinese consumers for physical gold. Analysts have cited that as one of the reasons as to why the gold price has gone up. I know there's more restrictions on holding Bitcoin in China, but do you see that trend coming soon in the sense that the world's largest population and largest country will start adopting Bitcoin as a gold replacement?
That is a great question. I think with Hong Kong Bitcoin ETF also being approved, there's an opportunity for more people to get access to Bitcoin through Bitcoin ETF, as you mentioned. They also approve ETF, ETH as well, right? So ETH ETF. It's possible, but for now, when it comes to Hong Kong market, only those who have Hong Kong residency or has the ability to get access to Hong Kong bank account can invest in that ETF. So, I think that population is still the accessibility is still uh, relatively limited. But is the demand out there? I think demand is positively correlated to awareness in not only in China but also in other markets. When it comes to Bitcoin, I think it's very positively correlated to awareness. So, to the extent that there is enough awareness, there is enough opportunities to educate people of what Bitcoin offers. I think there's always a possibility for increasing demand for Bitcoin in that case.
Is
Because
there
really, there's not much comparable options when it comes to liquidity,
yeah.
a combination of liquidity and downside protection, risk wise, as well as upside. Like there's just no comparable out there. Period. So I think it's really down to awareness and access.
It's not a cultural issue that I know Chinese people like real estate. Some have liked gold. Yeah, but
They like everything that can preserve value.
okay, fair enough. They're not they're agnostic to the asset, just what it does. Okay.
Whatever does the work
Okay.
that they can put their hands on, right?
These trends that you spoke about earlier, the coming adoption of stablecoins, what's already happening, it's not coming. Um, some of these
Yeah.
other trends you talked about, are they reflected in the trading volume of OKX? Are you seeing, more popularity in some of these trends?
I think so. Yeah, I think, I mean, stablecoin transaction has always been popular on exchange. Bitcoin is dominant. Ethereum just overtook Bitcoin over the last day or two.
Yeah.
Those are very obvious trends. Obviously, recently we've seen meme coin going, and actually meme coin has been going strong for a while. The only difference between now versus previous cycles for meme coin trading is that we see meme coin happening on multiple chains versus previous cycles. It's previous primarily on Ethereum. Uh,
Yeah. Now
um,
it's on Solana, a lot of them, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Solana and Bitcoin.
Solana and Bitcoin. Okay. It's ironic that there's a use case for the larger tokens now for meme coins and Pepe.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, has anyone asked you? Have your clients asked you? You've gotten more inquiries about Pepe, where like I hadn't even follow Whiff, Dog with Hat that was also exploding. These Joe coins that have no utility, no purpose whatsoever, but have made a lot of people very rich for some reason.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the target audience for meme coin, but I've
Okay.
been observing us also and trying to understand what's happening. Uh, what I have learned in my career, both in Wall Street as well as in crypto, is that I really don't know anything. I need to be aware that I don't know anything. I need to be very humble, and the market can teach us a lot, all right, in many different ways. Back in the COVID period, we were surprised by how quickly things can heat up. And then we were also surprised by how things actually fell apart. When it comes to meme coin, also, like, there are just so many things that happened in different communities that not everyone can understand. And I was looking at what's happening with, with Doge, with recent. I think there's a lot of debating Bitcoin community as well about Rune, about ordinals previously. My philosophy is that I think we have to respect the market. We have to respect innovations. It's hard. We can have personal judgment on whether the certain innovation makes sense or not. But at a platform level, we cannot make that type of judgment. We have to let the market guide us, number one. Number two, what I've been coming around to is that I think for meme coin, one thing uh, that happened to me in my personal life is when I was talking to my girl who is 12 years old, who just turned 12 years old. We were talking about something, and then I showed her a meme that we were sharing among some of my friends, and she responded with a natural affinity to the meme. And then she said, "Oh, it's very interesting." She immediately got the message. And then I was surprised, and she said, "Oh, it's a meme." I was surprised that she actually know that it's a meme. I obviously underestimated her generation's closeness to to digital media, to social media. But it's very clear to me at that point that she and her friends and her generation uh, used meme as a way to communicate, to share emotions, to share perspectives.
Are you telling us your 12-year-old daughter should be a leading indicator? We should follow what she's
No,
following?
no, no. I was just telling you that incident, and that incident may feel irrelevant. but when and I look at meme coin, that incident came to my mind and
I don't
reminded
think
me
it's irrelevant at all. I mean, look at what the young people are following. Look at the memes that are trending amongst them. That's your early indicator right there. I'm not trading advice or anything, but that to me, I would actually have a conversation with them and be like, what are you following right now? Right?
it no, it shows me that different generations have different ways of
Yeah,
capturing
sure,
key messages,
sure.
informations, point
Yeah.
of views. Sometimes they use meme to show dissidence, to show rebelliousness. And the same thing for meme coin, like, for when you look at how Doge has gained popularity, right? It's really like the group of people are defiantly using Doge to say, hey, this is useless. Obviously, Elon Musk helped in that case, but they're saying this is useless. It has no utility, and thereby we stand by it. That's basically a way for them to express opinion. So what I was trying to say is what I come around to see in meme coin phenomena is that I think it's a way for people in the digital era to um, to express opinion and almost monetize that opinion. To monetize how catchy either an opinion or an idea or some sort of community sense can be, and then show that in a financial, capital markets way. Um, it's very different from how we see other coins, like for example Bitcoin. I feel more comfortable. I'm a kind of a traditional person, right? So I feel comfortable because there is a solid use case that I can touch. But for meme coin, I think it's really more a price of attention. It's a price of attention in the digital era, and it can be very, it's transient. It's very flickery. It reflects in price up and down. The passion comes and go. Thereby, it's very risky.
Could you
But
ima could you imagine your past life at Goldman Sachs having this conversation right now? We're going to express financial ideas through pictures and memes and jokes.
I know. No, I don't think so. I'm telling you, David, I'm not. I cannot put myself
So, brave,
into putting my money into those category. But I'm trying to understand what's happening, why people are, going after
the
it.
brave new world. Yeah. Tell us how AI is impacting the crypto space. Have you looked into this trend and how it's impacting OKX as well as broader crypto markets?
There are definitely tokens, projects that are trying to uh, innovate on top of AI and combine that with crypto. But I think it's very early stage. I don't think we're seeing anything substantial yet. I think one coin that can be said is AI based is the Worldcoin.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think we see anything that is substantial. It's very experimental.
I'm interested to see the day when AI creates its own token,
Mm,
creates a utility
um,
for it, and then there's no project backer behind. Well, not backer, but there's no like person behind the project. It's not anonymous. It's literally a computer. I wonder if people well, there'll probably be some people buying it. The people buying
I
pictures of
think,
frogs, so of course there's going to be people buying it. Yeah,
yeah, I think it can, but it will be another direction of controversy in
yeah.
crypto, because ultimately, when you think about decentralized protocols, right? Can some of those decentralized protocols and governance be governed by AI agents? If so, how do we make sure that the AI agents are acting in in our interest versus sneaking in things that we don't know, because no one actually, as human beings, we actually pay attention and then we stop paying attention. Um, but I can see that if there are responsible innovation and responsible innovators out there who is doing this, that's the direction we may ultimately be going, right? A decentralized world with decentralized protocol and decentralized, either financial products as well, or your social interaction products. And the protocols are created and governed and iterated through AI or combination of AI and a human intervention.
Well, let's finish off by talking about the direction of exchanges. So, you being one of the largest, well, your company being one of the largest exchanges, you're well positioned to, talk about this topic. First of all, tell us about OKX, what your priorities are right now, and how your priorities fit into the broader trend of where exchanges are headed.
Sure. Yeah, we have been. I would say that over the last 2 years, I would say, since I've been involving in OKX efforts, our strategic focus hasn't changed. We've been working on those priorities over the last 2 years. First is to increase the sense of safety and security and transparency. I think that's a primary focus for us. We do that through a combination of technology, corporate governance improvement, as well as compliance risk and global infrastructure, getting licenses. So technology, we have proof of reserve. We also invest in Web3 wallet, a self-custody wallet, to basically the ultimate way of giving transparency and ownership to customers. We invest in securities of those Web3 wallets on chain, right? And then on CeFi side, really build the global product infrastructure, corporate infrastructure, compliance and legal infrastructure to be able to build locally in key jurisdictions, get licenses, have local team, local leader, set up local governance, corporate governance, and launch locally. So that increasing transparency, security, and access to our customers, that has been a key priority for us over the last 2 years. I would say we have been working on that ever since. So
Well,
I
yeah,
think we have been making progress.
the exchange has expanded to Australia recently, I believe,
Yeah.
Argentina earlier in the year. How do these jurisdictions fit into the larger picture of crypto demand worldwide? Are you going there because you're seeing a lot more crypto demand in those places, or is there another reason?
Yeah, ultimately, we believe that we need to be useful. We need to be useful to our customers. In order to be useful to our customers, we cannot just be a global platform because being a global platform, you don't really know the different customer needs in different markets in different communities. It doesn't really mean anything. So we decided that we need to be local. We need to be close to the customers. So thereby we actually made an internal exercise and evaluate which markets we actually want to build locally. Obviously, there we look at the market fundamentals. We look at the size of the market. We look at whether the crypto community and crypto adoption, there's some basis there. And then secondly, we look at talent. Do we feel comfortable that we will be able to build a strong local leadership team there? Because we cannot grow in
Right,
Argentina out of US. We
right.
cannot grow Turkey out of, Singapore or Hong Kong, right?
Are you seeing different
And
use cases in other places versus use cases in the US?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll be honest, I think we are still early in our efforts to
Yeah.
really push for local service and local platform. We launched in a few markets since last year, end of last year. I think we started with Brazil, and then we opened Argentina. We opened Turkey this year. We just opened Australia. In Europe, we rebranded OKCoin into OKX and basically combined the two platforms into one, into a regulated platform in Europe. But we are only getting ready to officially launch in Netherlands very, very soon. And we have one more official market that we are launching very soon after Europe, after Netherlands. And that's just first step, right? Because once you get out there, then you need to iterate on the product. And every market, when we launch, we look at not only the local dynamics, but also regulatory framework. What does it mean? What do we need to do? How to be compliant today? How to make sure that we have long-term sustainability, all that stuff. So, it's actually a lot of work going into these, getting ready for each market
Argent
and ongoing efforts.
Argentina is a very interesting market because, as you know, the country has
Yes.
hyperinflation. I wonder if the utility of cryptocurrencies for them will be different than, let's say, a U.S. investor or trader.
I would think so. I think there is a larger demand for uh, non-investment utility that we would like to explore. I don't think we have a, personally, I don't think that we have a strong product to meet that demand yet. I think we can do better. So we will continue to iterate in different markets and try to bring those to the market. Be it Latin America, Turkey. Turkey, the same. There's a pretty strong demand locally. Australia is totally different, right? In Australia, we actually try to serve the verified wholesale market, institutional and high net worth individuals who are qualified investors who can actually do more sophisticated investment and trading. So in different markets, it's very different.
Um, I want to talk about a little bit about the future of exchange products before we close off. So we've talked a lot in the past about how um, it's possible for traditional financial institutions to adopt cryptocurrencies, but let's talk about the other way around. When can we see OKX, or not, I'm just using your company as an example, but an exchange offer, let's say, a line of credit or a lending product or a Visa card, a credit card. When can I take, let's say, an OKX debit card, go to a store and, tap on it and it'll directly debit from my wallet that you offer, for example, right? Are these ideas like something that you would consider?
Those are great ideas, David. I'll probably invite you to our in the future whitelist product trials.
Sure, okay.
We will be exploring different things in different regions. One thing I would say is that we will be very cautious about getting into the credit and lending business. I don't think that's our appetite. I don't think that's our DNA or our business. We're more technology focused, whereby we want to look for, technology heavy product innovations to help address customer pain points. Uh, but or would we consider cards at some point? Yes, absolutely. Maybe in different regions we will be exploring that. We definitely will. We definitely will. But it's not going to be a global effort to start with, right? There are other product iterations that we are looking into in different regions, and we'll be excited to talk about those when we are ready. And another part that we continue to iterate on is really the self custody wallet that we have. We feel very strong about that product, about continue to investing in that product. We started launching the wallet about 2 years ago, and I think we've seen great feedback from the community. A lot of the crypto native users really love it. And that community support has been reflected in the numbers that we see. For example, if you look at the assets that we help our customers custody on a centralized platform, I think it reached 23 billion as of the last proof of reserve period. And surprisingly, we actually have similar assets on addresses in self-custody wallet by our, OKX wallet customers. 22 billion is the latest number. A year ago, that number is 9 billion. So it just went straight up. And I do expect more increase on that front, both as a customer usage as well as our investment in that product. We feel like that's the direction to go. And talking about AI, right? I do believe that, as the market innovation continue to evolve, what we can contribute to the industry versus what, traditional financial and fintech companies can do. I think where we can really differentiate and contribute is really the, product and technology in this in the decentralized on the chain. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, I look forward to following up when you're ready to talk about some of these new product ideas with us. So we'll stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for your time today, Hong.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.